Who do you think you are? Not who you appear to be or who others expect you to be, but who you really are in your essence. It's a question that, although it seems simple, carries a depth that few dare to explore. From birth, we absorb ideas, norms, and expectations from our environment, family, society, culture. Over time, these ideas become beliefs that we assume to be absolute truths, shaping our perception of who we are and what we are capable of achieving. But have you ever paused to question them? Where do these beliefs come from? Are they really yours, or just inherited from others? More importantly, are they helping you or limiting you? This video is an invitation to rediscover yourself. Together we will explore how beliefs shape our identity, how to identify them, and most crucially, how to reframe them. Because although beliefs have power, you have even more. You can choose which beliefs to keep, which to leave behind, and which to build from scratch to align with the person you want to be. Join me on this journey of introspection and transformation, where you will learn that redefining your beliefs is not only possible, but also the first step towards a more authentic life. Before we begin, I want to invite you to join this incredible community we are building. Here, we overcome our limits together and improve every day the way we respond to the world. If that resonates with you, subscribe now and be part of this personal growth movement. We are waiting for you. To understand the power of beliefs, we first need to define them. Beliefs are ideas that we have repeated so many times that we accept them as absolute truths. Some are conscious, like effort brings results, while others operate silently, like a program in the background of our minds. The latter, although we do not always perceive them, shape our decisions, actions, and even our perception of who we are. Beliefs begin to form in childhood, often influenced by our environment. The words of our parents, cultural norms, or early experiences that we leave unquestioned. For example, if someone as a child constantly heard, "You are not good at math," it is likely that they internalized that phrase as a truth, turning it into a mental barrier every time they face a challenge related to numbers. These beliefs not only affect what we do, but also how we see ourselves. They can be limiting, like, "I am not smart enough," or empowering, like, "I can learn from every experience." But here's the secret. Beliefs are not facts. They are interpretations. And as interpretations, they can be questioned and transformed. Imagine that beliefs are like a pair of lenses through which you view the world. If the lenses are fogged by limiting ideas, your vision will be blurred and limited. Changing those lenses for clearer and more authentic ones can transform not only how you see the world, but also how you see yourself. Now that we understand what beliefs are, it's time to identify how they manifest in our daily lives. Often, these limiting beliefs hide behind common phrases that we repeat without questioning. For example, think of someone who says, "I've never been good at public speaking." This statement, which may have started as an uncomfortable experience in school, becomes a label that defines their ability to express themselves. Each time the opportunity to speak in front of a group arises, that belief acts as an obstacle, fueling insecurity and reinforcing fear. Another typical case is, "I'm very bad at math." This type of belief not only limits learning, but also closes the door to opportunities that might require math skills. The curious thing is that, in many cases, these ideas are not based on unchangeable facts, but on isolated experiences that we interpret negatively. Even phrases like, "I've always been this way," are a clear example of how limiting beliefs can trap our identity in a box, preventing change. By accepting them without question, we avoid exploring new possibilities, taking risks, or discovering skills we didn't know we had. To break this pattern, the first step is to recognize these beliefs in your daily life. Ask yourself, what statements or thoughts do I often repeat that might be limiting me? The first step to changing your limiting beliefs is learning to identify them. Although it may seem complicated at first, there are simple and effective tools that you can use to bring them to the surface. One of the most powerful ways is to pay attention to your inner dialogue, those phrases that you repeat in your mind almost without realizing it. For example, whenever you face a challenge, what is the first thing you think? If phrases like, "I can't do it," "I'm not good enough," or "this isn't for me" often come up, you are probably facing a limiting belief. Another effective technique is to reflect on the areas of your life where you feel stuck. Ask yourself questions like, what is preventing me from moving forward in this situation? What story am I telling myself about my ability to achieve it? You can also examine your reactions to other successes. Do you feel inspired, or do you tell yourself, "I could never do the same"? These types of thoughts often reveal deep beliefs about what you consider possible for yourself. A practical exercise is to write a list of affirmations about yourself related to important areas of your life, such as work, relationships, or skills. Then, review each affirmation and ask yourself, is this a verifiable fact or an interpretation? Where does this idea come from? Who or what led me to believe this? How might this be limiting me? By questioning these ideas honestly, you begin to dismantle the power they have over you. Identifying a limiting belief is the first step, but true change occurs when you decide to transform it. Here is a practical process, divided into 4 steps, to reframe any belief that is holding you back. 1. Detect the limiting belief. Start with an honest reflection on a specific belief you would like to change. It might be something like, "I will never be good at leading a team." Write it down on paper or in a journal. Often, by putting it into words, we begin to notice its impact more clearly. 2. Identify its origin and context. Ask yourself, where does this belief come from? Was it something you heard as a child, a negative experience, or simply an interpretation? For example, perhaps someone told you in school that you were not organized enough to lead, and that idea got ingrained in your mind. Recognizing that this belief did not originate from an absolute truth, but from a subjective experience or comment already reduces its influence. 3. Question its validity. This is where you disarm the belief with powerful questions. Is this belief really true? Is there evidence to support it, or examples that contradict it. In the case of leadership, you might recall situations where you did manage to organize or motivate a group, even if they were small actions. This shows that the belief is not entirely true, but rather an exaggeration or an incomplete interpretation. 4. Replace it with an empowering belief. Once questioned, it's time to rewrite the narrative. Change, I will never be good at leading a team, to I can improve my leadership skills with practice and learning. Ensure that this new belief is positive, realistic, and growth-oriented. The key is to consciously repeat it every time the limiting belief arises. Practice refuting the old belief with this new affirmation. This process not only changes how you see yourself, but also begins to shape your actions. By practicing it regularly, you will be training your mind to align with a more authentic and free identity. Changing a limiting belief can feel like moving a stone in a river. The flow immediately changes, and everything begins to transform. But what concrete benefits can you expect from reframing your beliefs? First, the most evident impact is increased self-confidence. By replacing thoughts like, I'm not capable, with more constructive beliefs like, I can learn and improve, you start facing challenges with a more positive and determined attitude. This, in turn, reinforces a success cycle where your achievements feed new empowering beliefs. Another key benefit is emotional freedom. Limiting beliefs are often laden with fear, insecurity, and guilt. By transforming them, you free yourself from that burden and experience greater inner peace. Imagine going from thinking, I'm not good enough, to I am worthy as I am. It's a change that affects not only your mind, but also your emotional well-being. Furthermore, this internal work impacts your relationships. When you perceive yourself as a more capable and authentic person, you interact with others from a place of confidence and openness. This can strengthen bonds, improve communication, and help you inspire those around you. Finally, reframing your beliefs opens the door to new opportunities. A renewed mindset allows you to explore paths you previously considered impossible. That business idea you didn't dare to launch, that trip you thought you couldn't take, or even skills you believed were out of reach, become real options. Reframing your beliefs is a powerful process, but it is not without challenges. Many people face common obstacles that can slow down or even frustrate their progress. Here we explore some of these mistakes and how to avoid them to ensure your transformation is effective and sustainable. Trying to change everything immediately. One of the most common mistakes is attempting to transform all your limiting beliefs at once. This approach can be overwhelming and, instead of motivating you, could discourage you. The solution lies in prioritizing. Choose a specific belief that has a significant impact on your life and work on it first. Expecting instant results. Beliefs did not form overnight, and changing them does not happen immediately either. Many people get frustrated when they do not see quick changes, but reframing is a gradual process. Be patient with yourself and celebrate each small step forward. Ignoring positive evidence. It is easy to keep focusing on the evidence that reinforces your old beliefs, while overlooking achievements or experiences that contradict them. To counteract this, keep a record of your victories, no matter how small, and use it as a reminder of your progress. Not replacing a limiting belief with something new. Questioning a belief without replacing it with a more constructive one can leave a void that will eventually be filled by old insecurities. Make sure to formulate alternative beliefs that are positive, realistic, and growth-oriented. Comparing yourself to others. It is common to measure your progress against others, which can lead to feeling that you are not advancing enough. Remember that this is a personal journey. Focus on your own growth and not on the appearances of others. Identity is not a fixed destination or a permanent label. It is a constantly transforming canvas. With each experience, thought, and decision, we draw new lines, color blank areas, and sometimes even erase what no longer fits. Often, we cling to beliefs that, although they once served us, today may limit us. But what if we decide to see these beliefs as moldable tools? Accepting that our identity can change is liberating. It opens us to new possibilities, gives us permission to grow, and reminds us that change does not mean weakness but courage. This process of evolution requires questioning what we take for granted. Ask yourself, who are you today and who do you want to be tomorrow? True freedom begins when you decide to question your own limits. This phrase is not just a reminder, but an invitation to look inward and challenge yourself. Embracing change not only transforms our perception of ourselves, but also prepares us to live more authentically and in alignment with our deepest values. Now it's your turn. Reflect. What limiting belief do you carry that no longer serves you? What could change if you decide to question it today? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your experience may inspire others to start their own journey of transformation. If this content resonated with you, subscribe to the channel. Here we explore together topics that help us know ourselves better, grow, and build a more authentic life. This space is not just for individual reflection, but a community where we learn, share, and support each other. Remember, every step you take to challenge your own limits is a step towards true freedom. Together we can learn to build a more authentic life.